Like you said, this is what I was telling Brian. For y'all for the listeners. Coming at your heads. In Greek, the word resurrection is two words put into one. The problem with English to Greek is there's about 11,000 English words. Well, there's 33,000 Greek words that we cram into 11,000 English words. So we miss love. You don't know if it's eros, agape, filio. You miss that because we got one word to put it in. You understand what I'm saying? Now, what happens, let me take care of this real quick. What happens is in Greek, one word, resurrection, means fallen and risen at the same time. You understand what I'm saying? What I was telling Brian, which looked like I was fussing, because I was saying, boy, now you get it. Every single day, you now see what it feels like to be me every moment of every day. And I told Gianna the same thing, that she did the same thing yesterday. And I wasn't talking about me, I was talking about the word. In order to be great, you must be slain and standing at the same time. They're going to make me do it. Revelation calls the lamb the slain lamb standing. You see, Pam, notice you can't be slain and standing at the same time. Those two things don't go together. It's impossible. But that is what you are called to be. You must be both fallen and standing at the same time, or you are ineffective. From your ministry to your bank account, to your teachings, to your class, completely ineffective. Until you have mastered being whipped and unwhipped at the same time, or more hermeneutically, to be slain. To slain something, Jerome, is to be dead. You don't slay something. You don't take something to the altar and it leaves the altar the same way it came. To slay something is for it to die. For something to be risen is for it to be alive but new. Whoa. So resurrection embodies the term dead but alive and new. And if you intend to be great in this world, you got to master the two. You got to be dead enough to be able to recognize when someone's dying around you. Alive enough to resuscitate them. Think and Grow Rich. We're not in a chapter. That's what I was saying to Brian. Oh, and then, of course, then I told him today, since you are slain and standing at the same time, you too, Anthony, you finally can say you know Jesus.
Man, get off the gas. You was all right. You was all right until you said that. Get off the gas.
That's it. That's it. Now you can know. Now you can say you know. Until that. And at least he's going to be one of his leaders. He's going to be one of his leaders. You got to, that's how you do it. Now let me get off the gas. But Dr. Clark, come get me. Think and Grow Rich. I find it no coincidence because there are none. Off the call. That's it. There may be one. Think and Grow Rich. We're not in the chapter right now. We are going through the book as I have taken notes in it. We're in 31 Causes of Failure. 31 Causes of Failure. It's somewhere in the book. If you find it, please let us know. But I will post them all in chat. It's 31. What does it say in that book? All right, 30 Major Causes of Failure. The old version got 31. Let me make sure. Oh yeah, it's got 30. It's 30, but the 31st one under this name something we didn't name. Yeah. All right, outstanding. I'm gonna tell you, number one. Can y'all hear me? Number one is the only one you can't control. It's the only one. Number one is the only one you can't control. But watch this. But many have risen beyond it. 31 causes of failure. Number one is the only one you can't control. But so many didn't use it as an excuse. So what's number one? Unfavorable hereditary background. It's the only one you can't control. What's an unfavorable hereditary background? Being born with a hole in the heart. Being born blind. Napoleon Hill's son. Being born with no ears and no eardrums. He didn't just have no earlobes. Behind the skull, there was no eardrums. That is something you can't control. Fair enough? But so many people have not let it hold them back. Let's pause right here for a second. I want a few of you to give me an example of someone who was born a certain way and they did not let it stop them. Okay, Pam knows you first, Grace second.
Helen Keller.
Helen Keller. So you got to think of another answer. Go find another one. Go find another. Tell us about Helen Keller just in case we don't know, Pam.
Oh, well, Helen Keller was blind, and but she just went on to write and just become very famous for achieving many things. She didn't let her blindness stop her. She learned Braille.
And she can go on and on and on, can't she? She learned everything. Mm-hmm. Here we are healthy and shutting down. Grace?
Stevie Wonder.
Right. Tell us about Stevie Wonder. He wasn't born blind.
Oh, I didn't know that.
No, but he got blind very young.
Okay. So even though he got blind very young, he didn't let that stop him from learning how to play instruments, the harmonica, piano, keyboard, and he went on to be very successful, very famous, and helped a lot of people through his music. And Helen Keller had a quote that said something along the lines of, what's worse than being blind is having sight but no vision.
Right. That's right. Now, I didn't know my camera was off the whole time. Oh, no, it wasn't. I just put in my nasal spray. Now, I'm going to go on I'm going to state my opinion here. It's not something I do often. I'm going to tell you Stevie Wonder had it worse than Helen Keller. And of course, I don't mean to compare anything, but this is my personal opinion. I'm going to tell you why. But I'm only drawing it from my experience, which is wrong, but it's my experience, but it's still wrong. You get it? Because Stevie Wonder saw the world and it was snatched from him. I can't handle that. You see, I'm projecting me on Helen Keller. You get what I'm saying? It was cool. I can't miss what I ain't seen. But to see it and to have it taken from me, I don't do too well with that, Jerome. Look, I know y'all, y'all say, you. But you gonna give me something, God, and then snatch it? And for what? I ain't even do nothing. You just gonna snatch it because I got a gene in me that says go blind? Now, we're not having that. Now, let me tell you where I draw this from. And that's a bit too much. That's a bit wrong. Some of you can relate to it though. But I'll tell you, I have a friend who has a terrible mother. I have a friend who has a mother that's great to her and then terrible to her. depending on the mood or the substance she is abusing. Okay, just depends. It could be the mood too. And one day, my friend, well, we ain't really that cool no more. You know, this friend, she don't want to raise an awareness. I can't help her. But back then, we was friends. And she said, Tony, I just don't understand. And I told her my truth. Here it is. I said, Wallet Lena, I said, you got it. I got it much easier than you. And she was like, what you mean? You was homeless, because she was there. She was there with homelessness. Because her mom and my mom smoked together. I ain't even joking. So she was there. We both was messed up. And she said, but you was all jacked up. I ain't never had to be homeless. I said, and I got it a lot easier than you. And she said, why? And I said, because I never had a good mother. I don't hold nothing against her. I never had a mother come to me and give me drive-by promises, give me hope, and then let me down. I never had the blind open, waiting for my mom to come back. It never happened. There was no need whatsoever. And I told her, through my experience, watching you suffer, you had it much harder than me. And I'm telling you, growing up homeless, I contribute, and again, this is my personal opinion, right? I said that. I contribute my whole terrible childhood far better than what some of y'all went through. Because I didn't go through much psychological damage. I went through homelessness that gave me psychological damage that made me a fighter, and that was about it. Anything happened to me because I chose it to happen to me. Or I was just too small. Yeah, I am crazy. Too small to be fighting grown-ups for my food. You understand what I'm saying? But I never had a parent teach me low self-esteem. Never. Dad was in jail. My mama was, I don't know. Listen to me. I never had nobody tell me money don't grow on trees. Never heard it in my life. Nobody ever told. I heard y'all say it to each other. I never had nobody tell me money didn't grow on trees. Who you think I am, Rockefeller? Never heard that, ever. Nobody ever told me I was ugly. Nobody ever told me that I was too dark. Never heard it. I'm dark-skinned. And for some of y'all dark-skinned, you're like, what? Kids said stuff at school, but and? I was stronger than them by the time I started going to school anyway. I wasn't going to listen to them. Nobody ever told me nothing. I had to learn it on my own and go fight. And for that reason, my story is terrible, but it ain't worse than growing up in a middle-class family with your parents accidentally jacking you up by doing the best they could with what they had. That's my opinion. I'm telling you, when I see y'all, I say, wow, they had it worse than me. I never had nobody drive by and say, Pam, baby, I'm going to celebrate your birthday, and not show up. By the time my mom started doing that to me, I was too grown. I was 15. I was already hustling. I already had my own car. And at that time, she needed me to give her money. I was 15 going on 28. I've grown then. I've grown. In some cases, my childhood feels like a hereditary thing I couldn't avoid. I was homeless so young. So young. Some of us, we were taught slowly taught, take this poison. And they didn't teach it to you overtly. They said, Jerome, don't take no poison. And then you watch them look in the mirror and say, I'm too fat. Ain't that what you say yesterday in your keynote? You watch them take their own poison. You get it? Tough. Let me let one person respond to that opinion I just gave. I know somebody got something to say. Ain't no way in the world. He said, move on. Go ahead, D. Marie. Okay, well, go ahead, Jerome, then D. Marie.
No, Antonio, as I sit here and listen to you talk, dude, you are absolutely on the money. That's exactly what happened to me in so many ways. And then as you grow older, as you come into adulthood, you don't know you've been conditioned to take the poison. So as far as you're concerned, that's acceptable. And then you poison your kids and you poison the people because you think that that's normal, and then you find out that you broke and you're not really happy and you don't have a good marriage and relationship. And then you're wondering why, because I'm trying hard and I'm doing my best. But you're right. All that stuff has been put into you and it does something to you emotionally, internally, and you don't even know that that's what's happened to you. That's why when I tell my story about at Fort Hood, Texas, when this major said to me, hey, tell me, because I was raised in the church and I wanted to see the chapel. And the major said, hey, can I help you with anything? I said, no, sir, I'm good. And 5 minutes later, are you sure I can't help you? I said, no, sir, I'm good. He said, well, tell me about yourself. And I began to tell him about myself and blah, blah, blah. He said, I know what your problem is. I said, excuse me? He said, yeah, you don't like yourself. That's how. So, and guess what? He said to me word for word while he had spoken. And Antonio group, I began to cry. Why? Because as I heard him repeat to me the words that came out of my mouth, I was now processing those words in my thoughts. And I said, whoever said those words didn't like themselves. And I recognized that. I cried and then I got pissed, Antonio. You know why I got pissed? Because I had lived with me 19 years and didn't know that I didn't like me. And this man just met me and figured out that I didn't like me. And that pissed me off. And I said, that'll never happen to me again. And it didn't. But if it weren't for that major, who knows what would happen? Because you're right. I took that poison slowly, Antonio, slowly, and didn't even know I had taken it. Ooh, you better, boy.
D. Marie, thank God for Fort Hood, Texas. I spent my whole career, I kind of spent my whole career there. I was in garrison. I mean, I was in the field and war so much. But anyway, we won't quibble over spilt Kool-Aid. Go ahead, D. Marie.
I 100% agree with what Jerome said. He actually took everything out of my mouth. But what I also wanted to say was, sitting here every day with Antonio, I see the difference. I see the difference in growing up with parents and growing up without parents. I see the difference in his drive, in his thought processes, in his ability to process information, how he thinks in general. His whole being is completely different. Yeah. Like his being is completely different than anyone else that I know. People that grew up with parents either have mommy issues or daddy issues. He has neither one. People who grew up with parents have some level of low self-esteem, and it was either directly or indirectly taught by their parents, and he has none. There are people who grew up with both parents in a household and still have issues, and he has none. I sit here every day and I look at him and I be like, how the hell? Cause I'm tired. I'm tired of dealing with the issues from growing up. I'm tired of dealing with the mommy issues. I'm tired of dealing with the daddy issues I just found out I had. I'm tired of all of this. So how the hell? Teach me. And then I'd be like, dang, I got to go back and undo everything. And I'm sitting here like, and so I, with everything he just said, I literally see the difference on a daily basis. And to sit here and look at him, I'd be like, dang, I'm ready to be there. But it's like, but dude, you still got to let go of the other crap you still holding on to. So I see the difference. And when I tell you Jerome, you hit the nail on the head with the hammer, then you went behind it with a sledgehammer, then you had some extra stuff, you just want to make sure it went in. I'm just saying. Because everything, like the difference is the upbringing. You can tell the difference. If y'all actually pay attention to what he says when he talks, look at him, see, and think about how each one of y'all in some shape, form, or fashion has had a one-on-one conversation with him. Who else do you know processes information like him? Who else do you know is that calm enough in his own head to listen to everything that you're saying? We too busy with all the extra stuff going on. That's not normal. The upbringing, the environments completely do determine certain things.
Yeah, that's old nature versus nurture argument for sure. Life, according to my psychological report, okay, from, I think it's the Army. I'm not sure. Somebody. I don't know. I've been to so many therapists, it doesn't even make sense. Yeah, Jerome, I don't even know, man. There's so many of them. You know, Depakote, Seroquel, all sorts of stuff. Anyway, I was never nurtured, so I'm not nurturing. I missed the whole nurture part of my life, and it affects a bunch of stuff that I do. But that's the only thing growing up homeless did to me. I mean, there's this other stuff, right? I mean, you know, you're talking about the rape and molestation, all that stuff, but that goes back to I wasn't nurtured. So, you know, if something happened to you for a long time, you convince yourself you like it, and you start liking it. That was too deep for some of y'all. Anyway, if you've never been in that situation, you wouldn't understand. But that's it. I just don't have this nurturing side. That's all. Guess what I still got, Jerome? I'm still a kid that think he can do anything. It was never knocked out of me. I'm serious. I remember Shannon first started hanging around me, she was like, okay, we're going to do this. Now I come back tomorrow. All right, how we doing this now? Wait a minute now. wait a minute. Wait. You said the company was doing this. Now all of a sudden, we doing this. We going this way. Because every day I went home, my imagination got bigger. Right? It's never been knocked out of me. I'm still a kid that thinks I can change the world. I still get excited when I see the fire truck, because that's what I used to want to be. You know what I'm saying? But actually, I actually fulfilled that dream. But anyway, I like all of that. I still get excited by that because nobody ever said, slow down. Never happened to me. It never happened to me. I can't stress this to you enough. Get ready to come to you, Talisha. Get ready. I can't stress it to you enough. The only time somebody ever told me some poverty stuff was in school. Slow down. Don't run in the halls. Don't talk too loud. Show all your work. I wish I had some math teachers besides Grace out here. You understand? All that stuff, that came from school. And, who cares about school? Because I showed up there. If you think I was going to let school mess me up, you should go look at where I graduated at. I barely graduated. My graduation class was 575, no, 600 something people. I was at 575. I barely graduated, Jerome. And I ain't talking about because my last name started with an S. I'm talking about that's that grade point average. With no valedict, nothing. Nothing was that happening. No. I'm still a big kid. I still think I like my kids do. I do. My kids think they can be big YouTube stars. And so I let them play games in YouTube all day. Grace is helping me teach them all the math they need, K through 12, by the end of this year so they can focus on that. Why? Because they don't think they can't do it, Jerome, until I tell them, be realistic. And I'd rather than, and I'm watching Ashton. I'm watching Ashton right now as my youngest. He just turned 7 yesterday. I'm watching him not give a doggone about these games. But he sure likes the concept of how they're made. He don't care nothing about the games he plays are these cartoony games that you build. Roblox, Minecraft, anything you can build your own world on. That's what the youngest son likes to do. So guess what's gonna happen? More than likely, Aiden go play the game, Ashton go build and design them. Right? And until I say be realistic, and if I do that, ain't no building and ain't no playing. They're gonna go to school and be employees because that's what their daddy did. Felicia?
I want to say a couple things. One was you brought to my attention that all this time I never realized being in foster care and with 15 other kids, I never got my birthday celebrated. Not once. And I didn't think about that till you mention it. Never. If it was not her child, she had 3 boys. If it was not her child, her grandchildren, the rest of us, you won't get a happy birthday. It's like she forgot about you. You just a number. So I was like, wow, I just thought that. I didn't celebrate my birthday until I was of age, until I was 20, to buy my own stuff. And another thing that you brought to my attention was my daughter, how I am homeschooling her right now. And she's not having to deal with half of what other kids are dealing with. The hatred towards one another, the you can't do this, you're ugly, you're this, you're that, because that's not what she's surrounded by. So when you mentioned about how when you started going to school or whatever, that when your mother couldn't tell you that when you turned 15, that's how my daughter's going to be. So if she say, Mommy, I want to go to school in middle school or high school, nothing them kids gonna say to her gonna faze her, because she's gonna already be developed and she's gonna already know who she is. So that really touched me. And I don't know where my nurture come from, because I was not nurtured at all. But I have it, and I have it towards my daughter and others. And kids are my heart. So thank you for sharing.
Don't put me over the youth. I only like my kids. That's it. That's it. I only that's just like mine. I gotta deal with that. Okay. Definitely. No, that's good stuff. And in fact, I still to this day I don't even know my real birthday. But that's a whole nother story here though. But I don't know. I was told it was July 20th. The United States of America government has July 27th. So I don't know. I just don't know. The clerical error. And I didn't find that out until I was like 20-something. Going to the Army. Yeah. 18
So
got out
when
to
do
the
you
Army.
actually celebrate your birthday?
The day I was told, July 20th. The day I was told. Absolutely. So that's, July 20th, 1981. Mama gave birth to a hell-raising heavenly son. That was Tupac. Don't worry about that, y'all. I'm sorry. That was Tupac. All right, let's see. So I set y'all up. I must admit I set y'all up. I did. Let me read Anthony's comment. Wow, it was 16 of us. Woo! I can't even read that without getting tired immediately. As in 16 kids? As in kids? As in 16 mouths to feed? I just realized, boy, God bless you. It's time to pray again. Boy, I tell you, I know you like food today. I had to fight over that. I've never had my parents celebrate one of my birthdays. Yeah, 16 of them. Boy, I'm surprised they remember. That's a lot of birthdays. That's a lot of birthdays. That's how people used to have kids back in the day, because that was the most economical, that was the best economic plan for old age. You have 8 kids, and then you hope you get a good one like Chantel to come back and raise you when you're old. Now, since we got medical technology, we have 1.5 kids according to statistics. I don't know where they get that 0.5 at, but I set y'all up. I introduced to you 31 causes of failure, and I only gave you number 1. Number 1 was the one you can't do nothing about. The unfavorable hereditary background. So I set you up. I talked very quick, under no ears and stuff, and I never went back there again. And I let y'all talk all about all this other stuff. And let me tell y'all, everything we just talked about for 30 minutes is our fault. Yep. I know. Look, I know. It's always, I know. It's always hard to accept that one. But if you was in foster care and you was mad, that's your fault. Not the foster care, your response to it. I say that with respect, because you can't forget, so was I. I was there too. So I'm not speaking outside. If you was the 16th kid and you got mad because they didn't pay attention to you, your fault. Not the 16 kids, but your response to it. Here's what's crazy. If you in a big enough city like Las Vegas, Houston, hot Atlanta, something big, Toronto, even London or Ontario is pretty big. If you, by my small town standards, it's pretty big. If you are in a city like that, it can rain on your side of the town and alter your mood. But on the other side of the town, the whole collective is feeling like, let's go outside and play. If it's raining real hard on your side of town, you feel like, let's curl up and cuddle, let's curl up and watch Netflix. I don't want to go to work today. And if it's Sunday, I ain't going to church today. I ain't doing it. I ain't going to church. You understand what I'm saying? Rain, something external, caused your whole mood to change. This is where I get to introduce a story and where I get to tell you it's all your fault again. A friend of mine spent his whole 20s, from 18 to 30, in prison. Like prison. If you ain't from America, no, we got plenty of them. Drugs, of course, mandatory minimum, right? He said 3 times something happened to him during his long 10, 15-year stint. Dave, you're going to love this. One day, he's in what we would call the mess hall, because I'm military. And they walk him by something. He saw this window, and it was pouring down, raining. And he said he got depressed because it was raining outside. He got depressed. At this time, he'd been in there 7 years. His name is Robert Hockley. If you're local, you know who I'm talking about. This man said, and then it dawned on me, it ain't raining outside. It is. But it's been raining since I got here. It just took me 7 years to realize it's raining. Then he went and got on a piece of paper and a pen, and he wrote to himself, Robert Hockley, I want you to remember this day forever. We was talking about it. He actually posted on Facebook about 6 months ago. Robert Hockley, I want you to remember this day forever. Don't you ever think this place is for you and it's not raining because you don't see raindrops. Your whole life is rain until you get out of here and never come back. Amazing how you could spend 7 years. He's on hard lockdown. He didn't even see outside. So the seasons don't matter. Ain't no weather for him. And all of a sudden, it's raining. He can just see it. And it's rain outside affect my mood. And he realized he ain't got no mood. The mood he had was that environment. And that was when he decided to let the environment establish his mood. Today, he owns $1 million business. He's the Nipsey Hussle of our hood, that's for sure. He does a mighty fine job. Can't say nothing bad about him. He does a huge toy drive every year on Christmas Eve. Nino Brown stuff. This is from our culture. Gives toys to 5 cities. All because, MOD, he decided it's always raining in here. Let me make it not rain no more on the inside. So before you say something, number 2 is a lack of a well-defined purpose. Number 3 is a lack of ambition or aim to aim above mediocrity. Shannon has a phrase we like to say, maze of mediocrity. Number 4 is insufficient education. Now, Hill doesn't differentiate between collegiate or reading books. And number 5 is a lack of discipline. Don't try to remember them. They in the chat. Almost everything we talked about got something to do in those areas. On the other 30, causes of failure, 31. And everything is our fault. If you do not have a hole in your heart, if you weren't born with tapeworms, if your asthma ain't killing you, I know some people say, I got asthma. Yeah. And you've been running and jumping and stuff. You grew out your asthma a long time ago. Okay. You just got that inhaler so you can feel secure. If you can dance on a fast-paced song and your knees is working and your ankles work, if you wasn't born with cancer, if you're not 4 in a Shriners Burn hospital, we're going to make it personal. If you're not 2 with lupus, if you didn't contract AIDS at birth, or any other disease or illness or a hereditary deformity or deficiency, everything is your fault. Because the other 30 causes of failure, you can control. Every last one. And if that's hard to accept, it's your fault. Here's the good news. The same way you made it your fault is the same way you can unmake it your fault. Just think the opposite. It doesn't take talent not to have an attitude problem. Michelle Mueller came in my office and wanted me to break down narcissism and empath and empathy. And she said, I ain't put my head up, Jerome. I had my head down. Hey, can empaths be narcissists? I said, y'all are the worst ones. Worst ones. The biggest narcissists. The biggest narcissists. The biggest ones. Because you convince yourself, they treated me like this, so I'm a. And what is narcissism? Yes, I'm hitting driveways. Narcissism, although narcissism is extremely hard to define, it can be elusive. One of the things about narcissism is a grandiose view of yourself. How special you are. Now watch this here. To talk to you, empaths. I don't think I'm better than nobody else. Oh, you don't? Okay. Why every time you depressed, nobody understands? I'm hitting too hard now. You don't get it. You don't understand. This always happens to me. Oh, you're so special. The laws of physics only singles you out. Yes. All of a sudden, the laws of physics don't apply to you because this always happens to you. Mm-hmm. Your self, your grandiose self, that you don't put it on people, you put it on you. You kill you with it. You still ain't in a relationship right now because they gonna do something to you. Oh, so you're so special that as soon as you get close to somebody, they're gonna hurt you. I had 3 different people tell me today. 3 different people tell me, I'm not gonna let them hurt me no more. And I told all 3, and this was 3 different conversations. I told all 3, you know nobody can hurt you, right? No, they hurt me. No. You hurt you. I could never hurt you. You have to hurt you by letting me hurt you. You can test me out right now. I ain't gonna do nothing but say nothing positive. If I feel like checking you, I will. Probably won't. I don't have time for your opinion of me, especially if it ain't sending me to the bank. I don't. Somebody was mad at me yesterday. Well, you turn out. Somebody was mad at me yesterday. You know what somebody was mad at me yesterday for? For giving a compliment to somebody else. For speaking well. I had them messed up. You know why I had them messed up? Because they like one style of speaking. Please know, I know E.T., Les Brown, I know they can light up a crowd. Abraham Lincoln ain't talk like that. One of the greatest speakers of all time. Winston Churchill saved the world. And the speech he gave, June 18th, 1940, that saved the world, Craig. He gave it in a monotone voice. That's all right. It's in your Bureau of Dominant Speaker homework. So I ain't see that. It's in there. Don't worry about it. Oh, you see that? Oh, yeah. Winston Churchill was one of the great speakers of all time. Talk monotone the whole time. No vocal variety. No nothing. There is a difference. There's a different speaker for different places. But you know what? Since you didn't do it the way I sing, Jerome, since you didn't write that plan down the way I did, since you ain't running your business, since FOD, since your YouTube video didn't have the graphics that I like, I'll subscribe when you get better.
Hold on.
I'll support you, Dave, when you get drivers for your truck. Come on. I bet he heard that. I bet somebody told him that. Bet somebody. You know what, Pam, you've been doing this Ice Buddy for years. When you get it off the ground, first off, it's way off the ground. Just saying. I just got $1 billion dreams. It takes a little bit to get there. All right. Now, this is what I'm going to do. The rest of the class is dedicated to y'all answering one thing for me. I'm going to do you a favor. Hold on. It's just one question. I'm putting all the 21 in the chat. I mean, the 31. I'm tripping. All of them right here. Oh, like Chingy. I like it when you do it right there. I got a lot of hip hop references today. All right. And 90s hip hop references too. Well, it seems like 2000.
Yeah. Wrong selection of vocation.
Wrong selection of vocation. Wrong selection of spouse will do it to you too.
I know it's the truth. You know.
All right, they go all 31. Right there. For if you're an audible learner or you can't see it, what's the what? Okay, we're gonna. If you're can't I'm gonna read them out loud, and then I have a task for y'all. Y'all is the word in Texas. Number 6, ill health. Yeah, eat right, take care of yourself. Get in the gym with Dave. He'll help you out. Unfavorable environmental influences during your childhood. Yes, people who say that environments don't cause failure. Let me help you. The hood breeds failure. The goal is to be in the hood, don't let it be in you. Number 8, procrastination. I could do 16-week class on that. Number 9, lack of persistence. Let me go back to procrastination. I'm gonna do it in 16 seconds. I ain't gonna do it in 16 weeks. If you're a procrastinator, it's because you're too smart. And all you have is thinking and no experience, no doing whatsoever. You have no doing, you have all the smart. You know every way something's not gonna work. And you know every way it's gonna work. And you postulate all the time, but you never get up and do. Procrastinators are people who think far too much. Number 10, negative personality. Boy. And some of y'all think that's cool. Some of y'all cut for your negative personality too. It's a good look. This just how I am. This how life made me. God know who I am. He understand. He see my heart. It's high on the list. Ain't nobody gonna promote you if they don't want to work with you. People in leadership, lack of controlled sexual urge. Shannon is a blessing to this company. Is she on phone? Because I don't. Yes. All right, shoot. Shannon is a blessing to this company. I should say country.
Yeah, I'm
this
here,
company.
so you watch it.
Look at her. Look at her. She wouldn't be here if I couldn't control my libido. You see what I'm saying? Just saying. To be a Shannon list company, that'll sure hurt. Don't tell I said that though. You give it, blow her head up. It's already big.
Heard it.
Mhm.
Head is already blown.
Uncontrollable desire for something for nothing. Yeah. I tell you what, I'll join your little network marketing company if you pay my way in. Come on now. One or more. Dad, that ain't duplicatable, huh? That's not duplicatable. One or more of the 6 basic fears. And we're gonna stay on that one for a while. Fear of poverty, criticism, ill health, love, loss of love, old age, and death. Number 15, wrong selection of mate in marriage. I didn't say number 13. Number 13 is lack of well-defined power of decision. You know how y'all can't make a choice? What you want to eat? I don't know. I don't even talk about my ladies, but we're going to go ahead and go there. Wrong selection of mate. Let me tell it to you this way. My sinus is messing up. Let me tell it to you this way. Please know that wealthy people intentionally pick their mates. Wealthy people fall in love with intention of how they can get ahead with each other. Poor people just fall in love. Can I say it in a strong way?
I thought that was a strong way.
No, I'm going to say it even stronger. But wealthy people fall in love with what you can do for them. Poor people fall in love with potential of what you can do for them. How many of y'all have fell in love with some man or some woman with potential and you sure wasted a whole decade?
Oh, I gotta get out of it.
Somebody like you.
Oh, my Jesus.
I just saw some hands raised. You understand? Look, you want to say something? I saw your hand. You want to say something? I ain't going to connect. Chantel raised her hand too. You understand. Pick your mate well. 16, over caution. That's the whole crowd. Hold on, Deanna, want me to take these allergy pills. Texas started off cold, ended up hot, and changed in the middle 15 times. Overcautious. How many of y'all just so overcautious? Man, I'm gonna do it. Okay, I'm not gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. No. Okay, you know what? I'm just playing some more. All right. Okay, what I'm gonna do this time, I'm gonna just wait a little bit. I'm gonna just wait till the Lord tell me to move. Let me help y'all out. Stop using prayer as an excuse to procrastinate. Stop using prayer as an excuse to procrastinate. You already said you can have it. Why are you praying about it? Wherever your feet shall tread, Jerome. Come on now. Come on. All right, I'm done. I'm gonna leave it alone. I'm gonna let it alone.
Get your hands out my pocket.
That's it. 17, wrong selection of associates in business. All of us know that, don't we? Especially working with family members. That's the one. Superstition and prejudice. Some of y'all ain't working out too well for your business because you don't like a certain demographic of people that can fund it. Or you're a woman that don't like other women in authority because your mama. I ain't talking about nobody. I'm just talking about what I'm talking about. What you on that confession for? Number 19, wrong selection of vocation. Some of y'all picked that job because you need the money. Now you're stuck there. You know what? At the heart of what my man Anthony was saying earlier. Look, I got this lifestyle. Some of y'all stuck at jobs because your mortgage won't let you leave. I've been here 23 years, not by choice. You're not dedicated, you're debt slave. Number 20, lack of concentration of effort. Energy. You don't give enough energy. Number 21, the habit of indiscriminate spending. Girl, I want that. Mm-hmm.
Girl, I want that. You do.
Bro, I want that. Bro, I want that. Is that better? You like that? Okay. All right. Be gender neutral there. Okay. The habit of indiscriminate spending. Some of you don't give yourself 10. I saw a meme on Facebook today, and I watched all the holy rollers say, of course I will. Of course I will. Yes, I will. And it was Brian who posted it. You saw it too, Jerome? You saw it? Okay. All right, Jerome. Say what it was. I was so disgusted at these responses. Go ahead, Jerome.
No,
let Jerome say it.
He put a post. I think he said, if you won $40 million in the lottery, would you give 10% to the Lord? And the Christians were saying, yeah, I'm gonna do it, and I'm blah, blah, like that. And one person, I think they misunderstood what he was saying because they said, no, I won't. But then they want to say, I'm gonna give above the of the 2 million. I'm gonna give above. I say they don't even know what tithing's all about. But I didn't comment because I'm not a millionaire, so I don't want to start lying out of my mouth about what I'm gonna do or what I ain't gonna do. I tithe now, but I ain't been a millionaire, so I ain't gonna lie and say I'm gonna tithe when I get $1 million. I would pray to God I do that, but I ain't gonna, Brian, I ain't gonna lie.
Let me tell you, it's some chunky checks. Let me tell you. Brian, you can go and tell us now what the meme said. I looked at that. Oh, I'll tell you. Where you at, Brian? Well, you probably didn't got something to do. I think it said if you won $20 million in the lottery, now you got to give your 10%. Are you giving $2 million to your church? Y'all should have saw it on TV. You gotta mute your mic. That face was awesome. That face was awesome. Come on.
No.
You ready? That was good enough. That was good enough. At least you real. Stop. I'm not. Yes, no. I'm not saying that she died or you died, but when you trying to write that $2 million check, $2 million, and give it away, as in give, as in separate from yourself, you're gonna think about that for a little bit. I remember. No, you got to give the full $2 million. No, that's what I'm saying. Oh, okay, yeah. Well, yeah, you got to give the full $2 million.
Can I say something about that right quick?
Go ahead, man.
I kind of got disconnected, so I'm back. I'm glad y'all still on the same subject. It's funny to me reading these responses because I couldn't even give 400 when I was making 4,000. So I know ain't nobody finna come give up $2 million. You know what I'm saying? Like you make $100 and you question giving up 10.
It's a pastor talking. Y'all see that? Now, if Phil, Susan, Pam, John, Calloway, you know, Jerome, Vince. Well, Vince, almost Vince. He's almost old enough. Almost old enough. If they tell me I'd believe it. You know why? Because they done did some stupid stuff. Mm-hmm. And know the consequences of not doing it, right? So some of y'all like, you ain't old enough yet. You ain't old enough to have something get all
That
of it
crossed my
taken away.
mind.
Hey, Antonio, I'm old
Hey, go
now.
ahead.
I'm old. I won't have all that long to keep it anyway in my hands. So I might as well leave it behind. 'Cause I've never seen a Brinks truck follow a hearse. So, you know, I only got a
So
short
right.
period of time to use that 20 million. So I might as well make some good out of it.
Now,
Might as
Antonio,
well
I
make
don't,
some good
I
out
don't
of
have
it.
all the years you guys have ahead of you.
Antonio, I got
Go
to
ahead, Jerome.
testify to what you just said, because what Antonio didn't share with you guys is I've been going through a whole lot of financial trouble lately, and somebody from 5 years ago sent me a substantial check, okay, with a comma in it, okay, and I gave more than 10% to the church, more than, because I knew it was a gift from God. And I said, if I show my appreciation to God for this gift that basically came out of nowhere, God's going to bless me. So I made sure that check got written. Part of it went to my church, part of it went to a minister in Kenya who does ministry over there. But it was more than 10%. So, and Antonio's absolutely
Yeah, and you got blessed for it. You called me. Real late at night. You called me and told me all about it. You was so happy. You got blessed for it. You got blessed for it.
Hey, Antonio.
The funny thing is, yes, sir. Go.
I'm sorry, I mean to cut you off. I think
No, you never cut me off. You good?
If your money is coming consistently, it's easy to give away $2 million. But if you win $2 million in one lump sum and you got to give $2 million away out of that lump sum, it is going to feel different. So if you were making 20 million, $2 million doesn't really bother you as much. I won't say it won't bother you. It won't bother you as much. But
No,
if
you're
you
absolutely
win
right.
20 million, you have a problem with that 2 million because it was part of that lump sum as a whole. So I think
You're
that's what people
absolutely
struggle
right.
with. Now, me myself, I could give it away. I'm just a giver, man, and for me to be committed to something is to be all in or be nothing. So it wouldn't bother me because I would always tell myself, just remember when you didn't have it. Remember what your commitment was before you had it. Your commitment was that if you had it, you would do what was right. And if that was your promise before you got it, stay committed. And that's what we do in business. That's what we do in life. We make promises to justify our behavior at that time and our feelings of not having. And that's why it's so easy when we get it to not hold ourselves accountable.
There you go. I agree. I got nothing to say about that. I had let's talk about this consistently. She would give the biggest giver to the organization every month. Consistently. Just had money to blow. And then she wanted to get her license fixed. And then she spent all that excess paying off all them warrants, $5,000 worth of warrants. Then she went down to DPS, Department of Public Safety, I think. I'm trying to define these terms because everybody on the phone ain't from America. And they say, oh no, you got $5,000 worth of surcharges. Wait a minute now. I just paid off my warrants. Yeah. Now we need $5,000. Now we need $5,000. So now she paid $10,000. And here's what happens, Jerome. All that giving stopped. Here's what happened. She was giving so faithfully because she had money to blow. The moment she had the budget, she lost faith. Easy to have faith when you're getting 20 million consistently. Did you hear what Corey said? Did you hear him? Easy to believe in your business when you got customers. When that well dry up, can you hang through? Go ahead, FOD.
I used to give to the church, like tithes was to the point where my my welfare worker, because I was very honest about it, and I was extremely like I was very I called myself an evangelist. So even with my welfare worker, I would try and, like, you know, bring her to the Lord, and, you know, she just had me write down what I do with my money, and I told her even the $10 she sends me, I give $1 to the church. Like, I was extremely faithful to that until I left the church, and I still sort of kind of go to churches here and there, but like I don't see, personally for me, I don't see a reason why I would give to the church. And I remember a couple classes ago, you're saying how the church is meaning a group of people. So technically it's not the building. I'm like, there's so many organizations and so many causes and so many things. So why wouldn't, I wouldn't give 2 million to a church. I'd give it to a cause, because the cause would technically kind of be God. I don't know, but yeah.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. Let me tell you something. Ain't nothing wrong with your thinking, okay? And I want you to celebrate yourself for having the brain. Everybody, right now, let's clap for MOD. Celebrate yourself for having a brain. Ain't nothing wrong with your thinking, okay? Nothing. All I want you to do now is just take it out of spirituality. Let's just go to the way the universe works. In order to get something, you must first give. If that's a cause for you, do that. If that's a homeless person for you, do that. You understand? No matter what it is, make sure you serve others so the universe can serve you. That's the only important thing here. How you feel about the methods or who or what establishment, good job for thinking. Because maybe you so smart, you see through the veil of the wicked people that put a front on as a church. Maybe you do. Maybe you do. Maybe the inner you said, something's wrong here. I shouldn't give to this. Just have wisdom enough not to apply it. Don't blanket statement it, right? There's some good people doing good things. In the name of Allah, name of the Lord, Dos Mios, in the name of Buddha. You understand what I'm saying? There are good people doing great things in the name of a tree. And for dolphins, for turtles. Good people do great things, period, point blank. Doesn't matter what you give them, they can always do good. I applaud you for having the brain to think for yourself. I'm telling you, somebody else, if it was somebody else would have went on some old preacher soliloquy, and ain't nobody got time for all that, okay? It's ineffective. What's effective is complimenting you for having your own brain. And remember, if you ever, I'm talking to everybody now, if you ever have a deficiency in your life, you stop giving in that area. I'll say it again. If you ever have a deficiency in any area of your life, you have stopped giving in that area. Because the only way to receive is to give first. Go ahead, MOD.
I am extremely generous, especially with money. And I've been broke all my life, so I would like an explanation.
Sure. Now, let me finish, and then we'll talk about your broke explanation. If you have let me build this foundation. In order to receive, you must get. MOD, you like Anthony, you get all the time. Money, money, money. It just follows you. Boom, get all this money, get all this money. You're not a good steward of it. I'm sorry. There's something called a law of compensation. How you give to something is how it would give to you. Or there's another way to say that. How you do anything is how you do everything. And how you treat what you have is how what you have will respond to you. Jim Rohn says it better. If you don't grow out to money, it'll dwindle down to you. So what's happening with you and many other people like you, and Anthony just admitted it, but he's always freely admitted it every time he talks, is you get it, but then you're not nice with it. You're not nice to it. You give to people that you're supposed to teach how to get. It's perfectly fine to give. it is never fine to give your way to poverty. I just freed somebody. You're supposed to give. Give the shirt off your back. But if that leaves you in the street naked and it's freezing outside, you gave too much. Especially when your kids say, Mommy, wear your clothes. That's me again. Just because you're giving in the area doesn't mean that you're being a good steward to what you have been giving. Okay? I'm sorry, I keep using the word steward. That doesn't mean that, okay, let me use Richest Man in Babylon. This is perfect. I had someone just unmute. You're more than welcome to chime in right here. I think that's La Lover.
Antonio, I was just going to ask you, were you saying, and this is a point of clarification, that when LOD receives money, instead of being a good steward with it by investing or saving or putting it in their
That's right.
vehicle where it will grow,
right.
she's giving it away excessively?
That's right. You're already right. I knew you were right when you started talking about investing in vehicles. But that's why I wanted to bring up Richest Man in Babylon. That's exactly why I wanted to bring that up. You're absolutely right, Beloved. When you give, you're doing right. You got to give it. Basically, think about it as working out, trying to lose weight. You're clearly someone that has a good diet. You know what I'm saying? You're not the harvest of your body doesn't say you have a bad diet. Now, it might say you got a high metabolism and you eat 50 hot dogs a day, but that's a different story, right? Now, you have the diet together. That doesn't mean you're healthy. It don't make you healthy that you got the eating part down. Maybe you don't work out. You understand what I'm saying? Maybe you don't drink enough water. Or maybe your metabolism just got high. So when it's time for you to actually get full healthy, you got the diet down, but not the exercise. That's the point I wanted to make. You get it? All right. So I'm equating diet to giving, exercise into investing.
Can I say something, Antonio?
So when it's time, sure, go ahead.
And I hope this helps LOD as well. When I grew up and and start going to church, give my life to the Lord, I was taught that tithe is the principle. And then as New Testament, give as God lays on your heart. So you're not bound by the tithe. But I've always been taught that by giving that token to the church or giving that token to God or whatever that is, then you're showing your appreciation for what God has given you. Now, here's the part that I didn't get, Antonio. This is what I didn't get, LD. I wasn't taught about tithing to me. So I was taught, yes, make sure I give a token to God to show my appreciation to God. But I was never told, Jerome, set aside a portion for yourself to take care of your needs and the things that you need to do. And then that other part, then let that be your expenses and let that be, because I'm like LOD, I would take my money and I would give 50% to people. So
that's half the people on this call.
Yeah, that's what I did because I'm a generous giver. But what I didn't do was I didn't set aside a portion for Jerome. And that goes back to stewardship, Antonio. But you know why I didn't, Antonio? Because nobody taught me that, okay? I was taught to give to God, but I wasn't taught to make sure that I take care of me. But you know what the Bible teaches me? The man who don't take care of his own household has denied the faith and he's worth an infidel. So I have a responsibility to take care of me and my household financially, even though I've given to God. And if I don't do that, all those people out there, like you say, I'm helping, what happens when I need? Because you know what? The time came and I needed help, Antonio, and all those people I've been giving to over the years, they were all broke. None that could help me.
That's right.
None of them, okay? And I'm not mad with them, and I gave it freely, and I'm not mad with them because they couldn't, but that's their situation. Guess what? I needed help, and I couldn't find anybody, but I had that one friend, and bingo, and I was like, ooh, but I learned the lesson on ATSB. So going forward, guess what I'm going to make sure? I take out that 10% for God, but I got to take out 10% for Jerome and put it aside. Bingo. I just wanted to share that, sir.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. Ain't nothing wrong with that. No, I ain't gonna say that. Everybody got it. She was clapping. Still, let's take it out of God. Let's take it out of spirituality. You still gotta. Earl Nightingale said it this way. And this is back when the stove, you had to put wood in the stove and then light it. And then the wood would give you heat. Earl Nightingale, Dean of Motivation, says, you can't say stove, give me heat until you first put in the wood. You have to give to the stove first before the stove will then give you heat. Now, if that worked for a stove, that worked for your finances. You can't say ground, give me some oranges. Nope. You have to first get dirty and sow an orange seed, and then you'll get the orange. The whole universe set that way. Whole universe. Before your mother can have you, she has to receive a seed first. Whole universe works that way. Whole universe. Before we have drinking water, the clouds have to give us water first. Go ahead, Level.
I liken it to traveling on an airplane, and I travel quite a bit. They always say put on your oxygen mask first, no matter who you're traveling with, a spouse, a best friend, sibling, even children. I am no good to anybody else financially if I don't have something set to the side. So to me, that was something that was an aha in every area of my life, but especially finances. I have to make sure I have my financial mask on first, my health mask on first, my intellectual mask on first, ... So I hope that's helpful.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. And Jerome knows that anybody in the military, we know chemical warfare, they teach us to. We got to get in our hazmat suit. And they tell us to put on our mask, clear the mask first, then dress all completely, and then save our buddy dying and choking. I ain't lying. That's exactly what they teach us. That's protocol. That's it. That's it. That's exactly what they teach us. He's sitting there dying. But until you take care of you, you can't save him or you're both going to die. And that's real talk. That's good stuff. Good stuff. Now, let me finish this one point. If you have any area of deficiency in your life, you stop giving there. Even if it's just you stop allowing in new information, you become arrogant in that area. If you don't have relationships, you stop giving to others' relationships. They're not going to like this, Jerome. You don't have peace because you don't give peace to others. If you don't have a gossip-free life, it's because you give gossip to others. Every area of your life, if you have lack, it is because you don't give. Because the universe don't know lack and don't give lack. Man creates lack. That's a fact. You had never walked outside and saw one orange. It never rained 2 raindrops. The ocean don't have a teaspoon in it. It ain't 5 stars in the heavens. We ain't even got one planet. I'm dead serious. The universe does nothing in lack whatsoever. The universe does not give lack. Lisa said, I just blessed her a great deal. The only place lack comes from is man. And if you have lack in your life, God ain't give you that, you did. Come on, Corey, let me hear from you.
Well, before we get off this call, to those who are new, I just want to, give some honor to ATS University, Business University, for always enlightening and keeping us challenged to open our minds up and be ready to change and be ready to move. So those of you who are new on the call, I just wanted to tell you that I've been with them for a while, And you need to tell everybody you can tell about the goodness of what ATS Business University is doing in your life. It's not only opportunity for you, but everyone you love. I'm going to get off tonight. I just want to tell everybody I love you. God bless you and your family and your businesses.
I sure appreciate you, Corey. I got that recorded. Sure do. Sure do. I got that recorded. That's going down. That's an official commercial. I'm telling y'all. I need a brave soul real quick. I want to do this one thing, and I'm going to move on to the last portion of the class. I need a brave soul who has money problems or who has trouble asking full price for your worth. I need one of you people. If you have, don't lie. If when it's time to get down to asking for the money, for what you rightfully deserve, you scared to do it. Come on. I suffered for that. I did. You know how I hit it, Jerome? Oh man, you know what I'm saying? I'll just give you a discount. So what I was trying, Jerome said, nah, I ain't got the problem, I'm too old for that. Nah.
$20. I need $20.
Okay, Shannon says me. Good. Shannon, unmute your mic. This is the perfect person. Chantel says her too. Good. This is the perfect person.
Tony, my background is kind of noisy. You can stick with me or you can go with Chantel.
No, I don't mind going with you. Do you have the ability to Google while I am talking to you?
Yep.
All right, outstanding. I want you to Google Ecclesiastes. Yes. I want you to Google Ecclesiastes 10th chapter, verse 19. It don't matter which version you pull up. Pull up your favorite version. Ecclesiastes. Now all of y'all can pull it up, but nobody read it but Shannon. I'm doing something. She needs to see it herself.
Okay.
All right, read it out loud. Read it good and slow.
Don't tell me not to worry about it. I can't. I'm sorry, yeah, that's my mother.
Nah, you're right. I ain't worried about it. That's life in the background.
Bread is made for laughter, and wine gladdens life, and money answers everything.
Hey. Read it one more time. Wait a minute.
Bread is made for laughter, and wine gladdens life, and money answers everything.
Thank you very much, Shannon. I sure appreciate it. You can mute your background now. And just hear us out. If you struggle with money, the Lord your God just told you go and get it. It's there. And I'm making you comfortable now. Wait a minute, I'm making you comfortable. That is it. When I found out that was in there, it freed me. I said, what? You mean I won't lose my soul? Nope. Hey, that's in there. That's in there.
And what he was with her Bible.
Look at get a Bible like that's not in there. Look, that's why I want to ask who struggles, because the way the brain works, that's a wrinkle in Shannon's brain now that can never be unwrinkled. Before you walked in, I said, if you struggle with money or asking for money,
I don't know.
Grace say not no more. But for anyone who is suffering, there you go. You now, even if you don't believe in Christianity, you're brother of the book, you're an Islam faith or anything else, right? The fact is still in a sacred scripture. Come on, the fact that was written down in the Old Testament. And think about that. When they was walking in sandals before the socks were invented, when they were lighting candles to see, that was written down. That in itself is impressive. And I hope that helps somebody. I do. Feel free to read these other 31 causes of failure on yourself. They're pretty self-explanatory. They're just a list that you can Google. You can take the time and Google the 31 causes of failure. 31 is one that you would put up on yourself that you can see that it's just something that you made up on your own. Please know and read it, FOD. I see. I feel your energy. Ecclesiastes, I see you. 10:19. Read it, read it, read it, read it. My point with that was not to go biblical on you. It was to show you that it's okay to get money. It is. And somebody needed to hear that. Somebody needed to hear it's perfectly okay to count your money and charge full price. I'm telling you. I used to want you to be my friend so bad and like me that I would say, don't support me. Let me give to you. Let me give to you. Let me suffocate. Let hurt my kids so you think I'm saved. Am I saying something? Yeah. Hurt my children. Please, FOD, don't let me be able to provide for my kids and show them something. Be my friend, though. Take this here for free. I ain't talking to everybody right now. If you have a problem charging full price, this moment is for you. This message is for you. It is. It is. This section of the message. Now, last section. Here we go. You ready? It's only one question. It's only one question. I'm going to preamble it first. I want you to think about your life. And I want all of you to ponder, why is it that we tend, and by tend, I'm being nice. I want to say, why do we always, but I'm being nice. I'm being nice. Why do we gravitate towards, is that better? That sounds better. Why do we gravitate towards judging our life by our intentions and not our harvest? Why do we judge our lives by our intentions and not our harvest? I'll break it down in simpler English. But I'm a good person. No, you're not. Your harvest says you're not. You intend to be good, but you're a bad tree because you have bad fruit. Now, the understood assumption here is we're talking about a consistency of the fruit, not a season. So if you try to tell me that ain't how I feel, because sometimes that ain't the conversation we having, and I'm gonna call you out, okay? We're doing introspection. I'm calling you out. I'm telling you right now, if you try to get holier than thou and if you try to take your bad treeness and act like you ain't been suffering with this since the 90s, you and I, we're going head to head. We're going head to head. I'm telling you right now, we're going head to head. I got time today. I'm telling you right now, to save the people on this phone call, I got time to go head to head with you today. I'm telling you. I'm going to mute your mic and kick you off the call. I will. But let me preamble this. I ain't arguing with you. I'm going to mute your mic and I'm going to boot you. We ain't got time for you, okay? Now, if you don't have a bad harvest, help somebody on the call. Do you understand? Talk about when it was. Or talk about somebody that you know can get better, but they haven't learned what you learned. But you're going to add value. Because this is important. Because we're talking about failure. The question, the way I originally say it is, why do we judge ourselves by our intentions and not our harvest? Now, I want to, okay, hold on. Okay, say you're ready. That means I'm going to simplify it because everybody don't get that poetic language. Why is it so hard for us to admit that we're the problem when our whole life around us says we are? But we say, but I ain't even try to do that. That's not who I really am. Yes, it is. Because the consistency of your harvest says it is. Last thing, get ready, Grace. And you were next, right? Both of y'all want to do it? So Grace, Deanna, and whoever else is online. Get ready, last thing.
I'm ready.
I'm not, okay, so Lover's ready. All right, so we'll go with Lover first, then Grace, then Deanna. Last thing, I'm not talking about your season. The reason I'm stressing that is because you could have changed tonight as a result of this phone call, and your harvest won't match your future because you still have to walk out of this one. Do you understand? Right now, if you change, as a matter of fact, these two brothers changed 2 hours ago. Yes. Anthony and Brian changed. They are not the same, but they still going to have to deal with some harvest. Shannon was trying to explain this to them because they haven't walked out of it yet. Because what you do is what you're going to get. Period, point blank. They still got to suffer with what they got, except for this time it won't be suffering. They'll have peace while they go through. So we ain't talking about that. Amen? We talking about the consistency of your habit. In this order. The Lover, Grace, Deanna, then Talisha. Go ahead, Lover.
Okay, I have 4 things to say. Lack of accountability with oneself. Number 2, we're lazy. Number 3, it is easy not to look at self. And number 4, fear of facing the truth. It's easier to look at all the things around us and say, well, I meant well, but it happened this way. My intentions were, but this was the outcome. I am so over the but, because for me, it is action and result. And that may be harsh, but at 41, almost 42 years old, that's just where I am in life. I'll look back at myself. What were my actions and what were the results of those actions? And if I don't like them, I have to make changes now so that I don't repeat those same things going forward. And that's just not for money. That's in every area of my life.
Okay. Antonio asked me to pick up after the Lover. He said he heard you though.
Yeah, I just had to pee.
I'm not muted. All right. Jerome's laughing. You want to go? Or you going? No. Okay.
I'll explain that to everybody.
Okay.
Tell him that's too much information.
Okay. He heard you, Jerome. We judge based on our intentions and not our harvest. That's just we do always tend to do that. Why? My intentions look way better than my harvest. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Hello? I had to have a Damascus Road moment with you and Shannon. Shannon told me, hey, you was always angry. We ain't know which grace we was going to get. I didn't know that. Because to me, I was a nice person, and I couldn't understand why people didn't want to hang around me. So I couldn't see it. My intention was to be nice, but the harvest says we didn't know what grace was going to show up, and we ain't want, if angry grace was showing up, we ain't want to be around. So, yeah, I think logically. So my intentions look better than my harvest. And I don't want people to see my harvest. I want you to see my intentions.
And stuff. Let me just say something very quick between these two. The Lover said actions. She's at 41, almost going on 42. That's what she said. Actions. She said, at this point, I only care about my actions and my results. That's seed and harvest. Do you understand what I'm saying? That's the same thing. And Grace just said, my intentions look better than my harvest. Now, I want to throw out a zinger here. You don't get to be a nice person with a consistently bad harvest. You're lying to yourself. And that was Brian's entire call. If you miss Walk It Out Wednesday, that was his entire call. You nice, but when you go home, you nice to us out here fronting, but the people closest to you, you kill. So you're not nice. And your harvest shows up on you and tells on you every single time. Deanna?
You have this mask that you have for so long, even while not being a good person, you put up this front saying that, oh, this is who I am, this is who I am, this is who I am. And you begin to believe that front and lying to yourself about who you really are. After repeating to yourself for so long that this is who I really am, you start to believe that, and all the while, it's not who you are. You lie to yourself. And it's just like Ray said, because your intentions are better than your harvest.
Talisha?
Don't be surprised on what I'm telling on myself. Last night I took a charge.
Okay. All right. I might be surprised. All right.
Last night I took a charge. For those of you who don't know what that is. I did it because the person that loves me the most has been suffering the most because of me. And it goes back to what Deanna just said. And what I wanted to say is I came to reality after I took the charge and laid down. Then it was just like awareness hit me, and it was like, you know what, Talisha? This whole time I was being, what was the word you used? Narcissistic? I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right.
Perfectly right. You hit every syllable.
Okay. I was being that the entire time because all I did was think about how you hurt me, how that person hurt me, and never looked at how I hurt them. That's what I want to say.
Y'all heard that? So many people do that. So many people. You hurt me, you hurt me, you hurt me, you hurt me. I had to check somebody Sunday over that. I had to check somebody Sunday. I'm coming to you every day. I had to check somebody Sunday. I say, hey, I don't talk to you for a reason. They proceeded, they sent me the whole message. My whole phone was blue after they finished texting me. It was just blue. I said, Bottle Isha, let me tell you something. My experience with you tells me not to talk to you. You don't even realize you're difficult. And you want to say I'm difficult because I don't talk to you. I don't talk to you because you're difficult. You ruin my atmosphere. And I don't like that. You ought to be glad I'm responding because I got that block feature. I had to post on Facebook sometime last week. The block feature is a superpower, and I'm feeling real heroic.
You know what?
Go look at my page. Go look at it. I swear it's on there. I ain't lying. I block people, and it gives me so much freedom. So at this point, I'm like a lover. I want to see goodness on my timeline so I can stay in my vibration.
You too big and too old.
Too big and too old. I ain't got no time for you. And the person I'm talking to that I want to talk to, 58. 58 and immature. That don't make no sense, y'all. 58, immature. Don't do that. Don't waste half your life in low level of awareness. Come on, MOD.
Before I go, can you repeat the question again so that I'm...
Absolutely. The original way I said, I'll say it before this, whatever way you understand it, is why do we judge ourselves by our intentions and not by our harvest? A better way, or less poetical way to say that is, why do we claim to be good, but our consistent harvest of our lives says that we are not a good tree? Why won't we accept the harvest instead of our own thoughts about us?
To tell you the truth, I think I'm the opposite. I judge my harvest, but it's just, I know it's just another way of not taking accountability for my intentions. and just going into victimhood and saying, well, I'm a bad person. Look at this. Well, I know that. I'm always like, I'm always looking for how I can improve, but then it splits because it's always, there's also a side where it's like, I look at my harvest, I see that, oh, this is always happening. I know it's my fault. I know that. And, you know, like sometimes I change it, sometimes I don't. Like sometimes I'm in victimhood, and then sometimes I'm actually doing something about it. But like, when it comes to my intentions, like, I think it was after meeting you and coaching with you, I don't really lie to myself anymore. It's more of going to that
Yeah, because you know I ain't gonna let you.
Going to that place of just feeling like a victim and only looking at my harvest, and instead of changing my intention to change my harvest, I'm only looking at my harvest and looking at myself like a bad person because of my harvest.
All right, good job. I'm going to read something Shannon sent over here because it fits what you were saying. And then I'm so glad you said what you said, because I wasn't expecting that. And I'm so glad you said it, because I need to address it. I'm so glad you said it. Let's read what Shannon said. It's not intention. It's really our accommodation. We accommodate more than we attend. That's facts. Let's see if we can simplify that. Dale said, thank you. Actually, let me let Shannon simplify it. Shannon, I know your background is loud, but go ahead and say that again, because half of us got it, and say it even simpler for the other half of us that's not audible learners. She might be swimming or something.
Hello.
There she goes. There you go.
No, all I was saying, I'm so sorry for the background, but I was
Don't
just
worry
saying
about
that it's more of an accommodation. We don't really reach true intention until, in my experience, until you realize who you are, who the core of you is, who source you is. Then you focus more on intention, in my opinion. All the way up until then, y'all, we just accommodate. We're accommodating our anger. We're accommodating the people we don't want to hurt. We're accommodating the fact we don't want people to know who we really are. We're accommodating our pastors. We're accommodating everybody. You maneuver in accommodation until you find out and figure out who you are, and you figure out that you want to serve that person. When you serve yourself, then you meet true intention, in my opinion. All up until then, it's kind of like a rat race or bumper cars, or, you know, you're accommodating this thing until you reach the next thing. When you live in the true essence of who you are, and you know who the source you is, then you realize the beauty that can be placed in intention. When you do things to serve yourself intentionally, when you serve others intentionally, when you do things like that. But for a long time, it's accommodation, in my opinion. And not everybody's been correct in everything that they said. But that's what I learned. For me, I accommodated everything, so I didn't have to do anything. For me.
That's powerful. That's powerful. Thank you very much. Sure appreciate you. And no, you're absolutely right. That's why I wanted to read your comment first, because Evody was in that same energy. And again, I'm so glad you said this, Evody, because I really wasn't expecting it. But it is something that I address in a different conversation. I'm going to bring it up here. And this is going to dominate the rest of the conversation, so we'll stay here. We won't take any more responses there. I mean, this is so deep what Evody brought up, I got to lean back. And okay, let's set some ground rules for what I'm about to say, okay? It's going to come out poetic, but it's the only way for it to come out. I just asked you to look at your harvest, and I asked you, why do we judge ourselves by our intentions and not judge ourselves by our harvest or examine our harvest, right? There is a major caveat there. There's a major thing that I should have included, and apparently the universe wanted me to include. Write it down the way I'm going to say it. this is especially for you, Ebony, because you made me bring it up. Never judge yourself, never judge your worth by your harvest. Only judge your seeds by your harvest. Okay? Never judge your worth by your harvest. Only judge your seeds by your harvest. So allow me to restate the original question that got us here. Why do we judge ourselves by our intentions and are never honest about our seeds as we look at our harvest? That's much better wording. Why do we judge ourselves by our intentions, but never are honest about examining? That's not a word, right? Examining, Jesus. Examining. Yeah, examining. That is just not a... No, I said examinating. I made up something for real. Why do we judge ourselves by our intentions, but are never honest with our harvest to examine our seeds? Because the only thing you really have, Ebony, is your seeds, not your harvest. Write that down. The only thing you ever really have is your seeds, not your harvest. Now, I must go and defend FOD, and I also need to save you from yourself. Okay? Henceforth, don't you ever look out at your life and judge your life by what you see. Don't do that. And I tried to preamble my conversation by saying I'm not talking about a season. I was trying to stay away from that, but the universe didn't want me to. And judging by Phil's amen, he's so glad that you asked that question as well as I am. Ebony, you looking at your life. Don't you ever in your life look at your life again and make a conclusion about your life when you look at your harvest. The only thing you make a conclusion of is your seeds, not your life. I'm going to say it again, but I want to see some pens moving this time. Don't judge your life by your harvest. Judge your seeds by your harvest. You're simply living in the residual effect of your seeds. But that harvest is not now or ever your life. It is what your life is journeying through, but it is not your life. I'm going to repeat that again. I don't mean to offend some of you that already got it. I'm reinforcing it for some who are almost there. FOD, I want you to look at your life right now and look at everything around you, period, point blank, and be honest with it. That's not your life, that's your seeds. Your life is always greater than what's around you. Your worth can't even be calculated. That's why you can determine if your seeds are worthy of you. Because you are always greater than the seeds you plant, even if they're worthy of you. Because then they're just things. You're just a human being experiencing, a spiritual being experiencing great things. But even your spirit is so big it fills a room. At no point should you determine your dollar amount as a harvest that equals your life. The dollar amount that you have, or in this case, the Canadian dollar amount that you have, is a harvest that equals the seed that you have planted. That's all. It's called the law of compensation. The law of compensation has nothing to do with your worth. It has everything to do with what your energy said about your worth as you put into this universe. That's all. You just put less energy than your worth. That's all. Nothing less. So I'm so glad you asked that question. I'm so glad, because I was going somewhere, but not only was this where I was supposed to go, I was making a fatal mistake by telling you half the story intentionally. I was making a fatal mistake. You understand what I'm saying? Okay, I think Michelle wants to say something. Michelle, you there? I thought she was. Mic check. Unmute your phone. I heard you unmute. I'm not sure. Or maybe that was the level. Whoever unmuted, whoever hit *6 on your phone, go ahead and say something. Then we let Jerome say something next.
That was me, Antonio. This is La Lover.
Go ahead.
I just want to clarify what you were stating as seed. When I think about it and when I hear from this call, I'm looking at it from my actions that I'm planting to yield a result or a harvest. And I'm not just thinking about it from a financial perspective. So am I a little off kilter?
Well, no, you're not off kilter. You're doing half the story like I was before FOD said a question. Because your actions are just thoughts in motion. What you're doing is you're telling me the tree is blowing, but you think it's some magical thing, but it's the wind that's blowing the tree. And you're missing the wind in your analogy. Before you ever move, before you had an action, you had a thought. Those thoughts are your seeds, not the action. The action is just the harvest of your thoughts. That's all. They're the first harvest. And then your actions lead to a second harvest, which is your harvest itself, or the results is the way you're using it.
Got it. That makes a lot more sense.
Good. Love it. Love it. Love it. And I love how intelligent you are. Did everybody else get that? Before you have actions, you have thoughts. Please know that her thoughts are creating a habit, and those habits are becoming action. You understand? Good, good, good. Jerome, let me hear from you. Maybe you got an equally impressive question like that.
As I thought this thing through, I'm glad you preface it with about I'm not talking about a season. Yeah. I'm glad you did that, because I looked at the totality of my life to come to where I'm at right now. And what I came to realize is that, this helps some other folks on the call too, is that as I was moving through life, instead of me looking at the harvest that I was producing, I was comparing myself with the people that I had joined myself to and the people that were around me. And what I realized is that based on where I wanted to go and based on where I was headed, I was doing, in most cases, better than them. So being as I was doing better than them, I was okay. Because the things I wanted and the things I was trying to achieve, I was satisfied with and had a little extra left over because I compared it to them, because I had no one to educate me and help me realize my true worth. And then a year ago, I ran into a knucklehead, Antonio T. Well, we'll talk about him later. Okay.
Well, I'm definitely a knucklehead, though, that's for sure.
But the amazing thing was, in the process of learning about me and not comparing myself to others and measuring my accomplishments by what others do, I begin to look within and says, wait a minute, I can do this, I can do that. So instead of making excuses, or as I love to say, why accept responsibility when you can blame others? I looked at Jerome and says, well, Jerome, you can do this. Well, I did that, Jerome, you can. And then all of a sudden, here you come along and said, well, Jerome, you can do this, this, and this. I can? Absolutely. And I say, wait a minute, I can. And then as the light bulb came on, I said, Jerome, you haven't even tapped into all that you can do. So I'm excited about what's on the horizon, because I'm only tapping into the beginnings of what's inside of Jerome. So that's what I wanted to share with everybody, because that's what got me to where I was. I thought I was okay because I was better than them, and not realizing all that was out there before me until I ran into Antonio T. Smith. So thanks, buddy.
Yeah,
appreciate it.
No, it's good. That's good, man. That's what I call winning around losers. That's what I call it around here. But you win around losers. Don't even know you're in poverty because you're comparing yourself to other
Yes,
people
sir.
in poverty. You're like, yeah, I'm doing better. Yep, that's exactly. I was Chief Keef on that. Oh man, that was my bread and butter. Oh, that was my chicken soup with extra chicken in it. I mean, that there. I love being around people. Me and Shannon got that in common. Me and Shannon did that very well. And we talk about it all the time individually. We love people that would let us fly under the radar. Oh, you thought that was smart? That was like 5% of what I can do. But go ahead and think I'm a genius. That way I know I can securely give you 5% now.
Antonio,
Go ahead.
I want to mention because when I first met Shannon, one of the things she told me, she's like, "It's gonna be plenty of days you're not gonna like me," and she said,
Yep.
"There's gonna be times where you're gonna have to go through things by yourself, and I'm not gonna be able to hold your hand." And ever since she started school, that's what it's been for me. But it has made me so much stronger. And Deanna was another person that if I couldn't reach her, I was just felt like it was the end of the world. But now that I'm finally going through it, it feels good. It feels really good. So I thank you guys, Shannon,
That's fantastic.
all of you.
Kudos to you. No, kudos, Felicia. Your growth is amazing. Yeah, definitely. Your growth is amazing. Excuse me. No past tense. Your growth is amazing. Let me tell you something about me. I would let you suffer. I would let you XFOD. I would let you suffer. Anthony said it earlier on the other call. You trying to get in touch. I would let you suffer if I don't see you trying to come at me. I sure will. I sure will. If I'm using more muscles to help you, I'm going to let you stay in your field. I sure am. I sure am. Because you ain't fallen enough yet. So won't help. And I ain't blowing up with you. And that's the first thing I learned about you. I will let you suffer. I give you, if long as you coming, you'll always have access to me. When I see you falling back, and I come back and I go, and I come back and I go, and I come back and I go, oh yeah, go ahead. All right, put them in this category. I'm serious. And that's not going to change. It's not going to change about me no time soon. I'm just telling you right now, no time soon. Why? Because I understand at that moment you're being a grenade. Your sole purpose is to explode and take everybody with you. Yep. And I don't have time for grenades. Sounds horrible. And sometimes you're sadly being a grenade, not intentionally. That's when you'll hear from me. I know the difference. When you're spiraling out of control, sadly, you get a little message from me. One of y'all just got a message from me when you were spiraling out of control. I ain't gonna say no names, but her name started with an E, and I was like, hey, I'm here. And 5 days later, oh, my bad. Oh, okay, my bad. Okay, my bad. Yeah. Look at that. Yeah, look. You can respond. You ain't got your mic in.
I need to have my pity party.
I need to have my pity party. Yeah, 5 days. I'll leave my message hanging there. Look, last thing. It's the same thing, but last thing. Everdy, you're constantly, I'm talking to Everdy because it was her question. I'm talking to all of you. Please receive this as all of you. But I really want Everdy to get this the most because the universe, yes, the universe definitely let you ask this here. Everdy, you're always living in a residual effect of who you were, not who you are. Residual meaning afterthought, residue, not caught up with yet. Your harvest is a not caught up with yet you. If you're looking out right, what every time you ever hear the word harvest or see the word harvest or see your harvest, it's a not yet you. It's the old you when you planted it. It could be 5 years ago you. Some of y'all right now looking at your present day harvest and you don't even realize you planted it 5 years ago. And then you judge your life about who you were 5 years ago. And that is suicide. It is the killing of yourself. So I encourage all of you, especially you, Ebony, because this is what you brought up and you did the right thing. And I'm man enough to admit I'm glad you did because I wouldn't have brought it up. I'm telling you, your life right now is the old you. Many of you have changed today from the last call or this call. I don't know how we have so many powerful calls. I'm not sure how we built this, but we did. And I can tell you this here. You changed today. And you are so excited. And the world don't give a damn about your excitement. Your loved ones ain't going to recognize it. Because you're in present day old you. You changed today, but you got to walk through old you. You don't get to skip this harvest, but you now have enough strength to get past this harvest. So here's what you do. I say this, I end with this. If you want to change your harvest, Emily, you don't focus on this harvest. You plant the harvest you want right now. That's it. Nothing else. Plant that. At some point, it's going to hurt. But then what's going to happen is the good harvest is going to mix with the bad harvest, and it's going to be wishy-washy. And you're going to say, man, this doesn't work. But don't do that. Because all you've done now is created a mixed harvest where some days it's good, some days it's bad. But keep planting good seeds. And you're going to walk out that wishy-washy harvest. And what you're going to be left is the new you that's old now. It showed up. And all it is good seeds. And then you'll be teaching this class. And people will be getting certified under your name. And you'll be the millionaire. And people will shoot commercials for you. Antonio T. Smith Jr., you can plant better. You can dominate. Exactly like a snake shedding its skin, but sometimes as humans, take us a little longer. All right, everybody. We do appreciate you. Love you more, Phil. Thank y'all for staying 2 minutes late. We appreciate you. Love you.